My name is Jerry Doby. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Hype magazine, and I'm a loyal American. I like to think I come from a long line of productive um, Americans, from Hall of Fame, baseball Hall of Famer Larry Doby to Richard B. Doby, who was the first black commissioner of banking in the United States. He was the commissioner of banking for the state of Colorado. You know, my family has several schools named after him in Florida, a section of Tampa called Dobyville. We've been around for a while, and I myself, not only as the editor-in-chief of the Hype magazine, but you know, I followed my family tradition of military service, and so I'm not a hack. When I talk about Black Lives Matter, my family's contributed to the fabric of this country. So now, as a media personality, it's incumbent on me to follow that tradition of leadership, and the Hype magazine will be doing a Dark America series, many segments which cover the underbelly of America. You know, I've been crying for the last 2 days, not just because of the violence and the loss of life, innocent life, you know, but from the feeling of absolute hopelessness and betrayal that I know, you know, an entire people feel. And it affects an entire country, you know, when a segment is in pain, you know, whether it's through direct engagement or collateral engagement, the country is affected, and it has to change. You know what I mean? I'm retired, military, and honorably discharged, obviously, by being retired. I've got a bunch more pieces of tin and ribbon that I could put on that uniform back there, but I think you get the point. I'm not a hack when I say Black Lives Matter. You know, I'm not just someone who sitting around bitching. You know, I've been an active and productive part of this country, and now I'm going to have to continue to serve, you know, as a voice, because the injustice of these innocents who've been brutally murdered, from little children to grown people here in recent times, you know, even to being murdered in front of their little children. And there's a climate of acceptance in this country, you know, from certain sectors that follows a precedence that has been set since Jim Crow. It's okay to hang. It's okay to burn them, create postcards, and say, hey, here's a picture from the barbecue we had today. And we talk about, you know, the joint Strange Fruit, very famous joint. It was hanging from the trees. They're still doing that. Just a few days ago in a public park in Georgia, a young man was hung. Not too long after a Ku Klux Klan rally. Didn't hit the major media. Didn't hit any media that I know of, you know, except for maybe local. But that's a glaring example of acceptance and the devaluation of a sector of this country that has been the backbone. You know, like the black woman has been the backbone of the black family for centuries. Minorities, specifically talking about blacks at the moment, have been the backbone of the infrastructure of this country forever. And to have that contribution devalued, to have sent people like myself to different countries to commit acts of violence on behalf of the term human rights. For this to be happening in this country today in 2016, that's a complete betrayal. I never felt so betrayed in my life. I can't sit still for this. I'm not advocating violence, but I'm advocating the philosophy of unity equals safety. Unity equals safety. If we don't support ourselves and look out for ourselves, it's a proven fact on television as we watch the man die, you know, live on Facebook. We watched him die live on Facebook. I didn't see it, but his 4-year-old child is in the back seat. She watched a cop murder her father, 4 shots, close range, for following the officer's instructions. Officer tells him to get his identification and registration. He starts to comply, and he dies. What was the original stop for? A broken tail light. Explain that to your 4-year-old child. Why their father is dead for a broken tail light. Essentially. You can't explain that. That's that's a representative of a generation, man, that is now affected negatively. Forever. There's nothing you'll be able to say about protect and serve that's ever going to mean anything but fraud to that child. It's a whole generation of America that is saying, you did this to my great-grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, you know, maybe even my parents. But we ain't having it. It's a new day. They say violence begets violence. I'm not saying it's the right way. I'm not saying it's the wrong way. But this country is founded on violence, affecting change. One of the first people to lay down their lives for this country was a black man. The Revolutionary War, shot down by British troops. He was an African-American seaman. How dare you devalue our worth? And the federal government is helping local paramilitary gang members called police. They're helping them feel like it's okay. They are now comfortable with smoking us, man. Even little children, because they know they're not going to be prosecuted. We have a Justice Department. What is it serving? Nothing. How do we change it? Unity equals safety. It's time for real sharp and strong minds to come together in unity to create safety. I mean, what happens if all of a sudden bad cops, the Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Brothers, John Birch Society, etc., etc., if we start hunting them the way they're being allowed to hunt us, does that do anybody any good? No. Things like close-up and personal murder, looking a man in the eye and being comfortable enough to pull the trigger. When that person's not shooting back, shooting at you, you're not defending yourself. The gentleman in Baton Rouge was under the physical control and weight of 2 police officers. 6 shots later, after he raises his head, the big deal is that he had a prison record. He was a felon. He shouldn't have had the gun. Okay, that's right. But the gun was unloaded. The magazine was in one location. The pistol was in another. He wasn't actively resisting. He was talking. Until that first shot, at close range, point blank range. This can't be something that we just talk about and we're about getting camera time for making appearances at rallies, etc., etc., and then we're on our way. Nah. This is one of those long-ranging struggles. We've got to be active and aggressive. Intelligent. If you run your head into a brick wall, you come out bloody. It's time to vote. You got primaries all over the country. It's time to vote. Rep your choice. Are you ready for people to be in office who are riding in on your backs but not delivering anything? They're already in office. Are you going to put them back in office? Don't be stupid. Oh, what massa gonna do? We's need to iron their clothes and shine their shoes. That's how we's get a paycheck. But those people are the ones that are currently empowering paramilitary gangs to commit murder. Nobody paid attention when Hitler invaded Poland. Look what the hell happened. Nobody paid attention to Rwanda. Nobody paid attention to Somalia. Nobody paid attention to all of that. And look what happened. Multiple generations of human beings changed, negatively affected for life. If we don't fix it, man, Revelations could be tomorrow. The book says the world's going to end by fire. I mean, how many cries of burn, baby, burn does that mean we'll be hearing? If we don't fix it. Boycotts have worked. You know, the civil rights leaders, they did their thing, man. They stuck together and they were committed. And that's what affected the change, man. They were also reinforced, though, by other organizations, SNCC, the Panthers, you know, the Southern Leadership Conference. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can contribute and should, but we need to move like a phalanx and protect each other, because there's safety and unity. Now's not the time for people to be grabbing cameras time just because they want to be famous. No, now's the time to get in the streets. Now's the time to be at the city council meetings. Now's the time to vote and say no more. Make wise choices. Can't tell you how to vote, but make wise choices. Do you vote for the same old, and continue to accept the atrocities? I think not. It's not about black and white. It's about making sure that what's right is what's done. Justice. You know, philosopher Thoreau said, it's not so important that a man garner respect for the law, but for that which is right. We need to be on the side of right. That don't mean shooting down cops and disrupting a peaceful protest. Doesn't mean doing stupid things. See, motivated freedom fighters are also called terrorists. As soon as you become a terrorist, then you activate the federal government to move against you. And we never get anything done, because now the whole country and its infrastructure is hunting you. So we've gone from a few bad cops to now the marshals, ATF, all the alphabet boys, all the jump out boys with shoot to kill missions. So unity equals safety. Use your voice. Don't stand for the status quo. If they're not protecting you now, Why would you leave them where they are? Dark America. Black Lives Matter. Unity equals safety. I am a patriot. I do love my country. But they're betraying everything that I fought for. Everything that I killed for. Everything I risked my life for. I'm no longer going to be quiet. Jerry Dobie, Editor-in-Chief, Hype Magazine. Stay tuned for more Dark America.